Thank you for joining us today at Lake Suero Recreational Park and Marina in the Tonto National Forest, which is also part of the Pima Maricopa County Indian Reservation. We are here today to learn a little bit about the Live No Trace philosophy that is endorsed by the Boy Scouts of America and several conservation groups nationally and is being implemented globally. Just a little about where we are. This is the Sonoran Desert. Lake Suero is the fourth reservoir on the Salt River, formed by the Stewart Mountain Dam. It has a surface of 1,264 acres, and the desert is a harsh and unforgiving climate, as you can see, appearing barren and devoid of life. The truth, in fact, is that it is full of life, and many species have adapted to this climate in amazing ways. National parks like this one and many others in the Superstition Mountains offers multiple recreational opportunity. There is something for everyone. For instance, you have seen the Desert Belle, which offers dinners cruises, midday cruises, sunset cruises, and all of which are spectacular in sightseeing. As you can see, that there's an array of boats in the marina where you can rent, suited to your needs, kayaking, fishing, speedboats, pontoons, so you can accommodate family and friends. Activities to really enjoy the outdoors include hiking the trails, picnicking, camping at a separate location, and bicycling. Not too far away is the Wild West-themed horseback riding company. As you can see, this landscape just begs for a photographer. If you're lucky, you may just catch an eagle or a hawk in flight, or maybe you're just a hummingbird getting nectar from one of the beautiful desert flowers. There's a variety of wildlife that call this desert home. You may see them in your walking or hiking one of these trails. Just as you and I would be protective, they also will be, especially if the baby is sleeping. It's helpful to know that many animals in the desert are nocturnal, so they sleep in the heat of day to conserve energy and stay cool. This lake is home to several species of fish and other marine animals and indigenous plants, which are delicate. So while you're exploring this park, make sure you to pay attention. As has been quoted by a gentleman named Edward Abbey, everything in the desert either bites, stabs, sticks, stings, or stinks. As a helpful reminder, I will ask that you take precautions, stay on the trails, because it is possible that some species of cacti will shoot needles as a defensive measure, and you shouldn't get too close. This is the desert, so you may encounter scorpions and snake. They'll be impossible to see underneath brush or rocks, so for everyone's safety, I want to remind you to keep your eyes open, stay on the designated trails, and if you have any empty containers, please dispose of them before we depart in the receptacles provided. We will begin to incorporate the practice of leaving no trace on our hike here today. This desert is home to a variety of animals like the bobcat or cougar, scorpions, rabbits, coyotes, and javelina. This is a wild boar-like creature with razor-sharp tusks and a renowned bad attitude. Since this is such a harsh environment, the wildlife here compete for habitat, food, water, and shade. It would be only natural for them to see us as competition for those resources. Perhaps they have been hunted or taunted cruelly, and that makes them defensive. And coyotes may look like dogs and cougars like cats, but make no mistake, they are not domesticated. They have a good reason to feel threatened and may become defensive when encountering humans, so it is best to give them wide berth. If you must get a photo, please use the zoom capability on your camera. Do not attempt to interact with their young or approach a nest. Some of you may be parents yourselves, and so you can easily understand their protective nature. Protection is a good word to remind us as to why we leave no trace when we visit parks and other natural environments. In past generations, humans have gotten careless with their trash, or they've left food behind, dropped cigarette butts without regard, believing that someone would clean it up, or everything is biodegradable, or that one little item isn't causing any harm. But as we walk around, please take note of the traces left behind by the scores of previous visitors. Unattractive, undoubtedly, but more importantly, these traces cause long-term, perhaps permanent damage to the delicate marine and terrestrial ecosystems that sustain life. On land, they permeate almost every square inch and cause hazards we are just now beginning to understand. For instance, the people who come to barbecue or picnic either unintentionally left processed foods behind because it was inconvenient to repackage it for home, or they thought it would be a treat for the animals after they left. While this may be a generous act, it is also quite dangerous. As we all know, animals need to be able to take care of themselves. When you provide them with food, they can depend on it and lose the ability to hunt or forage for themselves. This has a crippling effect on their hunting ability. The result is often to entice them into our urban areas seeking to be fed. It is also important to realize that while we cook our meats, foods like chicken and ribs are eaten raw by animals. Leaving the cooked remnants behind is dangerous. Their digestive systems don't have the immunity to the preservatives, causing them serious illness. Cooked bones can splinter and cause irreparable damage to their throats and intestines. It is best to remember to only bring what you will eat and are willing to dispose of safely or bring home with you. Leaving no trace of your meal or visit protects endangered and indigenous wildlife. Perhaps while we've been walking, you've noticed the litter of cigarette filters and other trash, bottle caps, can tops, styrofoam containers, etc. Well, these items can mean death and destruction for the very sensitive habitats in any environment. Wildlife foraging for food can accidentally or out of curiosity attempt to ingest such items, and they are toxic. Environmental experts are just now beginning to realize how devastating to the environment as well as to the wildlife the breakdown of plastic can be, and it doesn't break down easily. Over time, particles can become microscopic, and cancerous chemicals are ingested through respiration or consumption. Plants are not capable of processing this. For marine and terrestrial plants, their only options are to shut down to protect their DNA or die. Since scientists have yet to figure out how to clean the waters in the land of these microscopic plastic particles, we recommend that when you're boating or swimming or any other activity near water, that you don't dispose of your products in the water. Fish try to eat it, turtles try to eat it, birds. They all choke. They suffocate. They can't process it. They don't know that it's not food. Recycle, recycle, recycle. That's the way that we are going to protect ourselves and our precious resources from any further harm. Leave nothing behind and be an inspiration to others to follow your example. The lives you save are countless, and they cannot speak for themselves. These parks are yours and mine. They belong to the American public, and it is everybody's responsibility to protect them, to clean up what previous generations have left behind, and to ensure that we don't leave anything new behind that we can't clean up. Respect wildlife habitats on land or in the water by picking up existing litter and ensuring that when you leave these parks that you leave no trace of your visits. Thank you again for joining us today, and I hope you will enjoy your visit to the Lake Swero National Park. As I have enjoyed meeting you, and we will return to our point of origin, let's remember, if you see it, pick it up. Just as you would in your own home, this planet is also your home, and we have the responsibility to protect it for our future, as well as for your children and grandchildren. This is their legacy, just as this habitat is going to be the legacy of the future generations of coyotes, javelinas, eagles, and other wildlife. This is the great outdoors. Use it in good health and have a lot of fun while you explore the Wild West.